Hello students, welcome to Excel class number 20. The topic of the day is VLOOKUP with exact match. This is example number 3. So we have the data of employees in this section, and in this section we want to fetch the employee name and email ID against this employee ID. So we will use the rows function to automate the column index number in this worksheet as well. So equal to VLOOKUP bracket start. So first input is lookup value. So lookup value is in G2 cell address. So now we are copying this formula as well. So we need to look at the cell references as well. So in this case, we are copying the formula from top to bottom. So we will freeze the row reference as we need the same lookup value to fetch the email ID as well. Comma, second input is table array. So table array is from B6 to D17. In this case as well, we will lock the row reference. Comma, third input is column index number. So employee ID is in column index number 1, employee name is in column index number 2, and email ID is in column index number 3. If we manually put the column index number 2 for the employee name and comma, fourth input is range lookup, that is for exact match we need 0. So 0 bracket close, control enter. The employee name against employee ID 2002 Mohit is fetched in this cell. So if we copy this formula from top to bottom, we get the same result for the email ID as well. If we press F2, so the column index number 2 is there in the formula. So the number is not incremented in the formula. So the employee name is there in the column index number 2, and that is picked up from the column index number 2 in the email ID section as well. So we need to automate these column index number by giving the rows formula in the VLOOKUP formula. So what is the rows formula? So rows formula will generate a number. So here we have given the formula F2 equal to rows E9 to E10, and we have locked the row reference of E9. So what will happen? So number 2 will be generated because there are 2 rows in cell E9 and E10. So 9 and 10 are the 2 rows. So the number generated is 2, and when we will copy this formula from top to bottom, so in the next cell the formula will be rows between E9 to E11. So between E9 to E11 we have 3 rows, 9, 10 and 11. So if we insert this formula in the VLOOKUP formula, instead of 2, if we write rows bracket start, we will select these 2 cells E9 and E10 and press F4 key 2 times, E9 to E10. So the same formula that we have printed here is nested inside the VLOOKUP formula. Bracket close, control enter. If we copy this formula from top to bottom, we get the email ID against this ID 2002, because the row function will automate the column index number. This data was in incremental order. Employee name was in column index number 2 and email ID is in column index number 3. So we were able to use the rows formula to fetch the employee name and email ID. Thank you.